Bushido, the code of the samurai. Bushido, the way of the warrior, was not merely a code of conduct. It was a living spirit, an unshakable path that demanded a lifetime of discipline, sacrifice, and honor. For the samurai of feudal Japan, it was not optional. It was the blood in their veins, the compass of their soul, and the silent law that bound them even beyond death. To live by Bushido meant to embody 7 sacred virtues, each a pillar holding up the identity of a true warrior. The first was righteousness and justice. For a samurai, there was no room for moral compromise. They acted with clarity and decisiveness, standing for what was right even when it meant standing alone, even when the world opposed them. Without righteousness, a warrior was merely a mercenary. The second was courage. Not the reckless kind that charges blindly into danger, but the deep, steady courage that comes from knowing the cause you serve is worth more than your own life. A samurai understood that fear would visit every heart, but Bushido demanded that fear never dictate action. The third was benevolence and compassion. A true warrior's strength was never meant for cruelty. Power without mercy was dishonor. A samurai was expected to protect the helpless, to extend kindness even in victory, and to remember that life is sacred, even in a profession built on death. The fourth was respect and courtesy. To the samurai, manners were not hollow gestures, they were expressions of inner discipline. Respect was shown to allies, rivals, and even enemies. In the eyes of Bushido, to dishonor another through arrogance was to dishonor yourself. The fifth was Makoto, honesty and sincerity. A samurai's word was more binding than any written contract. To speak a lie was to tarnish one's honor. In a time when one's reputation was a warrior's true armor, truth was a blade sharper than steel. The sixth was honor. This was the soul of Bushido. Honor was the invisible flame that burned in a samurai's chest, guiding every choice, every battle, and every moment of life. To lose one's honor was a fate worse than death, for death ended life but dishonor ended meaning. The seventh was loyalty. To one's lord, to one's comrades, and to one's duty. Loyalty was the thread that held the entire code together. For the samurai, loyalty was eternal. Even in death, they would serve. Bushido was not simply about fighting, it was about living with unwavering purpose. It demanded that warriors face death with calm acceptance, not because they sought it, but because they understood that a life without honor was no life at all. And while the samurai have faded into history, their code still whispers to us. In a world of shifting values and fleeting loyalties, Bushido challenges us to be steadfast. To act with righteousness, to face life's trials with courage, to wield our strengths in service to others, to show respect even when it is not returned, to live in truth, to guard our honor as the most precious treasure, and to remain loyal to the causes and people that define who we are. The way of the warrior is not bound to the sword, it is bound to the soul. And for those willing to walk it, Bushido still lives.